final day of the first test match at Trent Bridge began in the best possible weather conditions, for batsmen that is. Temperature in the mid-80s, not a cloud in the sky, and the West Indies starting the day at 124 for 3. Richards was on 42, Julian on 13, and Clive Lloyd's orders would definitely be for them to go out and make quick runs and so have a declaration sometime around about half an hour from the start of play. First ball of the day was bowled by John Snow. Bernard Julian was the batsman, and Snow was bowling from the pavilion end.
And that's hammered away to mid-on. Could be a catch off the first ball. Yes, it's well taken by Hendrick. And West Indies carrying on as they left off last night in a search here for runs. A third wicket for John Snow. Bernard Julian out to the first ball of the day's play. West Indies score now on 124 for 4. And Julian caught Hendrick, bowled Snow for 13. Old to Kallicharan. Two runs there to Alvin Kallicharan, taking West Indies now to an overall lead of exactly 300. $139 for 4. Richards on 49. Chris Old, the bowler. Pushed into the vacant space and the onside. Far flung field here. Richards takes 2 and moves through to yet another 50. 51, coming in 113 minutes, and following on that fine exhibition he gave in the first innings when he made 232. Richards facing Old. He's found a gap on the offside. That's going through for 4. His first boundary of the morning's play moves his score on to 55. John Snow with 3 of the 4 wickets that have gone down, bowling to Kallicharan. Swung away out to deep square leg, and that goes through for another 4. West Indies building their score up now, way past 300. Kallicharan has made 10 now. And swung high in the air. It's going over the top of Brearley for 6 runs. Tom Spencer still waiting, signalling the 6 now. Well clear of Brearley on the deep square leg boundary. And Kallicharan following that previous boundary with a very big 6 over square leg. Score moves on to 150 for 4. Kallicharan with a 6 and a 4 and his 17 facing Old. Kallicharan with 2 6s and a 4 in his 23. Second time he's found his favourite spot over the deep square leg boundary. John EDRICH, a little bit of trouble there. I think he's ricked his ankle on the rope. Old again to Kallicharan. Only 2 runs this time. Richards, who's made 60 now, facing John Snow. Snow to Kallicharan, the left-hander, already included 2 mighty 6s in his 26 runs. Looking here for the second. Snow to Kallicharan. Richards, who made 61, facing Snow. Last ball of John Snow's over is 11th of the innings. And he's given him out LBW. And that could well be the declaration, one thinks. Alvin Kallicharran looking up here. It's another wicket for John Snow, taking West Indies on to 5 down for 176. And Clive Lloyd calling them in.
338 the lead then, 339 to win, but that's simply an academic target as far as England were concerned. Richards a good double century and 63. Some lovely strokes from Alvin Kallicharran, and England left with 4 1/4 hours plus 20 overs to make those 339 runs or to survive. Well, they opened up with John Edrich and Mike Brearley, and here's Andy Roberts now bowling to John Edrich.
And the principal job now is for Edrich and Brearley out there to give them a sound and reasonable sort of start. That's it. Well done, Mike Brearley. Turned it nicely off his legs, coming back for the second run. Well, I'm sure a great relief to the Middlesex captain. It's happened to so many cricketers, of course, a naught in the first innings of a test match.
It's a good crisp stroke off his pads, and it'll go for 4. Very fast outfield. No need to chase that into the crowd. That's a good shot from Brearley. He kept it down well. He was hitting the deck some yard away from the bat. Good firm stroke from Edrich. Van Holder is the man after it. With an easy 3 runs. Shot. Holder is having quite a chase out there. That's 2 3s they've run in this over. That one moved off the seam. Slightly fortunate 4 runs there, I think, for Brearley. That jagged back at him very sharply. No ball and 4 runs. It's a good shot from John Edrich. I don't think he changed his stroke there. The call would have been too late. And that's a really good firm stroke off the back foot, square of the wicket. Ooh, and well, it almost picked up Edrich's head, and it almost cleaned up Derek Murray as well. I don't think Edie's too happy about that, and Tom Spencer's not happy about him running down the line of leg stump. Not very pleased at all. Now we're waiting for Van Holder to bowl. Let's have a look at that again, just see how far away it was from Edrich, and watch Derek Murray as well, because he lost sight of it straight over Edrich's skull, and now Murray sets himself, but the ball takes off and straight through for 4 byes. Van Holder now to the right-hander. That's out. That's quite a good catch and a good delivery from Van Holder. 17 for Brearley. Caught by Murray, bowled Holder. The first breakthrough for the West Indies, and a good ball. A leg cutter, pitching round about leg stump. Pitching round about off stump, I'm sorry, and then cutting away. finding the outside edge, and it's quite a straightforward catch for Derek Murray. Low down, but he took it neatly. So it's 38 for 1 now. It was a good ball, but not a particularly good stroke. Very airy, fairy little shot from John Edrich. Oh, gee. That really is asking for trouble to try and get out of the road of a bouncer like that. Ball didn't get up, and oh dear. It's off the hip, but trifle ambitious. Goes off the mark. David Steele. I don't think he quite timed it as he wanted, but has still gone for 4 running down the hill there, beating Daniel by some 15-20 yards. So that's a good start for David Steele. Well bowled and well played. Lifted quite sharply, but Steele was over. That's a good piece of defensive cricket there.
But unless Roberts really is flat out and really making his pace tell, he doesn't really look a very frightening bowler. He gets a bit low, left shoulder rather low. Nicely played by Edrich, guided that one down for another 4.
Slower ball there by Roberts, nicely disguised. It seemed until Edrich picked it beautifully off his legs for 4 more. So the 50 coming up for England, and 2 boundaries to John Edrich in this over. Moving on now to 23. Shout for LBW there. Might have got a little bit too high. It certainly moved across in line. Get a better appreciation of it from this ball, pitching round about middle stump and striking just above the pad, and I think Steele there possibly getting the benefit of the ball going over the top. And David Steele has ever proven an extremely difficult man to get out. So many people at the end of last year said it was a flash in the pan. If he ever played cricket on hard wickets overseas, he'd struggle. So David went to South Africa and quietly averaged 60 out there on a private tour in the winter. And he's gone for the hook, and he's done it again. And Roberts has trapped him. And David Steele, who promised himself he cut out the hook shot, but always said he was an impulsive hooker and had to go through with it, went through with it again, didn't connect. He's been caught at short square leg. Forward and then back into position pretty well, didn't middle it, and was picked up there just in front of the umpire. So the 2nd wicket going down for England. Steele the man to go out for 6, and England now in a little bit of trouble here. And we'll certainly have a battery of close catches round him now. Alongside the keeper are 3 slips, 2 gullies, a forward short leg, another squarish short leg. Roberts is keeping a man on the deep long leg boundary, just 1 man on the offside in front of the pitch. So Roberts to close. And that was a pig of a ball for anybody to get the first one. Roberts really let that one go. Had to play it. It moved and lifted and was only inches away from flicking Brian Close's gloves.
Well bowled and pretty well played in the end by Close. He started off being drawn into the defensive stroke and sensed it was going away in the air, which is a good performance from Julian to swing it away from the left-hander with 23 overs gone.
This pitch must be biscuit dry by now. Roy Fredericks to Brian Close.
Single there to Brian Close makes that the 11th run scored since lunch in 42 minutes. So perhaps the arrival of these two bowlers will help to make it a little bit more interesting for the spectators, push the score along a bit more quickly. Well, there's EDRICH taking advantage of a full toss outside the off stump to record another boundary. And that should be 4 more. Another full toss firmly driven by John EDRICH, so EDRICH helping along his batting average there after a loose over from Roy Fredericks. Brian Close now facing Julian, going through the motions at least of bowling slow left arm leg breaks, which will be off breaks to the left-hander. And the full toss going straight through Richard's hands for 4 more. So Brian Close moves on to 10. His first 6 coming in singles. And another full toss. Got this away all right this time. Very high outside leg stump. Swung away by Close for 4. So the 100 coming up for England. Looking very solid and safe now. The full pitch, found the gap this time. The single that he wanted, flicked out to Andy Roberts on the mid-wicket boundary. EDRICH takes a single, goes to yet another 50 for England. His 50 has come in just about 3 hours out of England's score of 104 for 2. Creating their own form of entertainment on the side, because there's been precious little to entertain them in the middle. Really nobody's fault. It's the pitch that's come out best. England no chance of chasing those runs, and all they could be expected to do was to play for a draw and go on to Lord's all square. And they've done it pretty successfully with 141 for 2. And there's 4 runs there to John EDRICH. And that should be a gift of 4 runs for him, short outside the off stump. Placed away nicely this time between point and cover point for 4. Mr. Hunt trying everything he knows now. He's making changes in the field which mean absolutely nothing at all. I think he's even moving a few pigeons as well. Oh, the bouncer. Not only surprised Brian Close, I think it surprised keeper Murray. It's gone through for 4 byes. The umpires are looking at the stumps, and to the relief of quite a few people on the ground here, they've decided that that's it. It's all over. Smiles from 1 or 2 West Indians. And the England score moving on to 156 for 2, and so that 4 byes enabling EDRICH and Close to complete this day with a century partnership.
And that century partnership must have set the minds of the selectors at rest, and certainly must have made Tony Greig a happy man as he talked after the game with Peter West.
What are the pluses you think England take out of this match and take with them to Lord's, Tony?
I think that whenever you can hold the West Indies, you've got a better chance next time round. This is what happened when we were beaten 1-0.
Trusty old Warriors, you've been reported as saying, I think, Tony, that before very long, you've been reported as saying a lot.
That's right.
That before very long we might well need the off-spin of Ray Illingworth back in the side. Anything to add to that?
No, that's not exactly true, actually. What I did say was that it might be that we'll need to have an off-spinner in the side. And Illingworth was one of 5 off-spinners that I mentioned. As sometimes happened, the man concerned did write it up and wrote Illy up naturally, because I think it's probably the in thing to do now whenever I mention someone who's